Boy, you know what time it is.
Welcome to the Bromigos podcast.
I need it!
Hey, how are you?
This is amazing.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Bromigos podcast. This is episode 96. You flip that number around, you get the best number on earth and the best position in bed. Hopefully it's not with us. I'm the Hoochie Man, holding it down as always, and I've got my co-host with me. Shout out to Dante and Mike. They couldn't be here, but got the next best thing.
There are no melanated individuals on today's episode, so I have brought out the bandana to represent them. It's your boy, the undercover brother. Pump your fist if you feel me, and holler if you hear me.
It wasn't racist at all.
It's not racist. It's not racist.
You made it seem like they wear bandanas. They don't wear bandanas.
No, but it is part of the culture.
Okay.
To some degree. It's a part of the subcultures of it, yeah.
I suppose.
Either way, I'm just fucking around, guys. But I figured I was thinking about this, because it's been a couple weeks since we put out an episode. I mean, when was the last time we put something
Last year.
Yes, you're right. Right before Christmas. Yeah, I was thinking about this the other day, and I was like, you know what? I don't really give a fuck what I do on the show anymore. I think that's been pretty obvious considering some of the things I have said over the course of the last few episodes.
Oh yeah.
So I am just going to be my unapologetic self to make everybody either laugh at me, laugh at you, or laugh along with us. I don't really care, man. It's just part of the fun for me, and that's why I love doing this show, because I don't have to fucking cater to certain types of people anymore. So I can just do whatever the fuck I want. It's our show. I produce it. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
You sound a little bit like that young lady down up in not Miami, but LA, one of the two. Yeah, probably LA. You sound like that little lady over there that's got herself in quite the lawsuit.
Ah, yes. We're talking about one light-skinned queen named Joy Taylor.
Or as Jason Whitlock referred to it, peanut butter smooth skin.
That too. That too. I did see that clip, and I was saying to myself, "Ooh-wee." I know he's a coon, according to Dante, but he ain't lying. No wonder why he didn't have her on the show.
Well, he hesitated because he knew what he could do to her, so he didn't want any part of that. Apparently,
that line's a little wild. By the way, could you imagine saying that? Like, imagine the things I could have done to her if she was on the show.
I don't think he meant it like that. I think he meant it just because he's a big bag person, because he's fat.
I mean,
you don't want to crush somebody in bed.
He's fat as fuck. Don't get me wrong, but let's also think about this. Where it's like he would have folded just like any one of us would have folded. I mean, fucking shit. Probably Skip Bayless folded. Can you imagine Skip Bayless, 70-something years old? Worst takes in the fucking...
It's my turn! No, it's my turn! He's the cuck sitting in the chair in the corner.
Yeah, it's my turn. He's on the cuck chair, man. He's on the cuck chair in the hotel room. And like, imagine his 70-year-old wrinkly-looking ass, worst sports takes imaginable, and he's nailing Joy Taylor, bro. What the fuck are we doing with our lives? Like, come on, man.
He never did. He never did. But
if he did, I bet he did. He just won't ever publicly admit to it.
I doubt it.
It's got to be out there somewhere. It's something about it out there. I guarantee it.
Give a little context to what we're talking about. There was a lawsuit filed by, I can't remember her name. It's a different name to pronounce, Miss Farage. I think I can't remember, but it was a hairstylist that used to work for Fox Sports, specialized with Joy Taylor getting her hair done before her shows. This dates back to, as far as I'm concerned, 2016, whenever Joy Taylor was still trying to find her footing with Fox Sports. Apparently, she had a improper relationship with, was it the executive
everybody in the organization?
No,
that's what it seems like. She was fucking everybody. It seems.
I'm trying to find out. She was basically in cahoots with one of the upper management people at Fox Sports. I think it was the executive vice producer. Charlie Dixon, executive vice president of content. That's who it is. So allegedly, Joy Taylor was already married, but she was fondling with Mr. Dixon in order to somewhat find her footing with Fox Sports. And then came this announcement about Undisputed, the show with Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless. Skip, let me tell you now.
Skip,
so
let me tell you something. Unc was breaking that back like no tomorrow.
Yeah, so they had talked about that show coming about and how they were looking for a moderator. And apparently, Joy Taylor became that moderator. Why? Well, allegedly, she had an improper relationship with Mr. Dixon, the executive vice producer, vice president of content for Fox Sports. And the hairstylist knew that Joy Taylor had a marriage with her husband. So basically, she was cheating on her husband with the guy higher up so she can get her own, she's got her foot in the door, basically. And then, things kept spiraling. And then the one day, the hairstylist was in the elevator with the guy that Joy Taylor had seen. I need another drink. Basically, they had.
You need like a fucking alcoholic drink. How many of those did you have before you started recording?
I didn't have any.
You're talking in circles, my boy.
I am. I'm trying to remember the girl's name. It was.
Who gives a shit what her name was? She clearly wasn't the one in that position.
Faraji, that's who it was. So basically, this all started out with Joy Taylor, Miss Faraji. They're having drinks. Joy Taylor brings the guy from Fox Sports, the higher up. She suspected from their body language that they had a relationship, even though Joy Taylor was already married. And then the one day, Faraji met the guy in an elevator at basically where they work, Fox Sports, but she didn't know at the time that he was the higher up for Fox Sports. And then she told Joy Taylor about it, and she's like, don't do anything. Just say nothing, basically. So then the crazy part about this is Faraji went on a dinner date with Joy Taylor and her husband, along with Dixon, the vice president guy for Fox, and his wife. They all had dinner together. And Joy Taylor's husband could tell that something was up. So that's what led to them getting a divorce. Joy Taylor eventually got the position to be moderator for Undisputed. And then apparently the vice president guy for Fox was touching Faraji at a party one time inappropriately. And then when she went to go tell Joy Taylor about it, she basically told her to get over it. It's like, what? Get over it?
Ooh.
He fondled with her inappropriately.
Well, I mean, that's textbook sexual harassment. That's not something I condone, obviously. Here's what I'm going to say about this, if I may intervene.
This is only the first part of it.
Oh God, there's more. Okay, well,
there's more.
Okay, so I'll let you continue in a second, but I just want to input some thoughts here. So far, and this has been my thought since, because my knowledge of it is this basic, the basic viewpoint of it all that you just described, maybe even less than that. I believe so far, based on everything I have read and you have said, and this is just my personal opinion, Joy Taylor has set women in sports media back at least 10, 15 years. Pretty just much. With this scandal alone. I don't know what the fuck else is going on, because you're going to tell me in a second. But oh my God, bro. This is deeper than I ever fucking imagined. And the hairstylist ratted them both out. Could you, first of all, why in the did she tell the hairstylist that they were banging? Because I don't know, it seems like unless she picked it up on her own, that's one thing. But if she physically was telling her about it, I'm like, why? Listen, I know hairstylists picked it up
from their body language.
Got it.
She picked up from their body language, and then when they went out on the date with Joy Taylor's husband, Dixon's wife, Joy Taylor's husband knew that something was up just from that alone. Like something seemed fishy. And then eventually, I guess he found out, and then that's when they got a divorce.
Got it.
I mean, it does kind of add up. And then, like I mentioned, Faraji, she kept getting groped, kept getting touched inappropriately from Dixon, and she told Joy Taylor about it. And, and then Joy Taylor basically told her to get over it, and that if you still want to have a job, just gotta put up with it, apparently.
See, the thing is like, and I say the whole she set women back in media years, like things like this are why jokes like the stuff with Kamala was being made. Oh, she slept her way to the fucking president's nomination or whatever. Listen, Joy Taylor swept her way onto one of the biggest debate shows in sports at the time. Rest in
Mhm.
peace, Ez. So I mean, like, that's just the thing, bro. Like, you can't just do shit like that and expect not to have some sort of ramifications. And I know that there are women in media that do a really good job. I follow a few of them, and
Yeah.
they do it for respective sports, and I think they do a really great job at what they do. I don't suspect that they've done anything, but now, sometimes when I see certain people on like ESPN now, like the one girl that's at what's it called, First Take, the girl that's on First Take.
Molly Quirm.
I think that's her name. I don't know. I don't watch First
She's
Take
the
all the time.
moderator basically for
Yeah,
that
she's a
show.
moderator. So I have a suspicion that she might have done something because she's way too fucking pretty. So, and then there's like a few other girls, like that one. I don't know her name, but like the one Asian chick that's on ESPN all the time.
Mina Kimes.
I think that's the one I'm thinking of. Like, she's super pretty too, and I'm sitting here like, I don't know. Now I gotta like second guess everything. And that's not saying that they do a bad job. That's not saying that they're bad at their job, but I am, in the back of my head now, I'm saying to myself that she's really hot. How the fuck did she get that job?
Laura Rutledge does a good job with ESPN.
Who's that again?
Laura Rutledge. She does NFL Countdown.
Okay, I have to look that one up then. I haven't watched ESPN consistently in like years, so
yeah, she does a good job. Anyway, and to essentially part 2 of this is when Faraji noticed that Emmanuel Acho, however you want to pronounce it,
that was that her husband, Joy Taylor?
No.
Oh, okay. I don't know who then. I don't know where that name came from. I thought they were just together. So okay, go ahead.
They were, but I think he had a relationship at the time. I could be wrong. I don't think he's married.
Okay, so continue.
No, he's not married, but pretty much she noticed that there was a sexual relationship with him that presumably began at around 2020. And the signs were there because Acho, he's deleted a bunch of stuff, like over 100 tweets where it's got like him and Joy Taylor in it, whether it's him talking about Joy Taylor or him and Joy Taylor on the set. He's deleted a bunch of tweets about that. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with having a sexual relationship with that. The more I'm thinking about it now, but I guess it's kind of where she kept getting her foot in the door because they would go on different shows together. Kind of think about it. I'm not really sure why that's brought up, unless there's something wrong with having a sexual relationship with a coworker. Essentially, that's what it is. But this next one, this is the last part.
Or the
this
most
part
recent
I have a
part
problem
that we know
with.
of, maybe.
Part I have a problem with is how basically Joy Taylor spoke to Ms. Faraji about wanting her own show, basically. And I mean, she got her own show, but she said that she was going to make a false claim of sexual harassment on Dixon, the guy that she was sleeping with, if she didn't get what she wanted.
So how did that come out? That is what I need to know, is how did that part come out?
I guess she told him, or she didn't tell him, she told Faraji.
Damn, this is why you can't tell your hairdresser shit, bro. That's why you can't tell your barber shit. Why you can't tell your hairdressers and salon shit, because they're just gonna start saying stuff, bro. I know it's like people's therapy when they go to the barbershop or the salon and all that, but bro, you gotta hold back sometimes, man.
Oh, okay. So the part with Emmanuel Acho is apparently she was sleeping with Acho and with Dixon at the same time, but I guess the two guys never knew.
Wow.
So she was going from one guy to another.
God damn.
So I guess that's why that's brought up. Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay. The more I think about it, the more you talk, the more I'm like, oh man, this doesn't shock me anymore.
Yeah. But Joy Taylor said that she would simply report Dixon's sexual misconduct to Fox Sports once he thought that she was no longer useful for the company.
Damn. That's some evil shit, bro. And women, I know like the whole like red pill dude society bullshit. It's like, oh, women ain't shit. They're this, they're that. And women are more cunning than we give them credit for a lot of the time. Normally it's like, oh yeah, women are whores. They got to be like submissive and blah blah blah. But this bitch was taking life by the balls, literally. She was taking life by the balls, Hunter, and she was empty at the same time.
And I mean, hey, maybe Skip Bayless saw something going on and thought, okay, Joy Taylor probably out of my league. Let me go with the hairstylist, Miss Faraji. To this part, which I don't know if this part's true.
No, do not tell me that he fucked the hairstylist.
No, well, I don't believe he did, but he offered her money for that. You'll never guess how much money he offered, though, that's the part I'm trying to wrap my brain
around. Give me a hint and I'll go from there.
It's a large number.
5 million.
All right, not that large.
Okay. 1 million.
A little more.
1,500,000.
Yeah, 1.5 million.
To sleep with
this
Skip
is all
Bayless?
Alleged, by the way. Everything
in
this
that
is
part's
alleged.
I can understand.
No, everything in this is alleged.
Everything.
That's why it's a lawsuit. Everything is alleged, but some of the stuff makes sense. Some of it kind of doesn't. So, but that part is alleged, where he allegedly paid her 1.5 million to have sex with him. I don't think she took up on that offer because he kept on bugging her about it. He's like, well, doesn't your dad have 3 or 4 wives? Because she's of Middle Eastern descent. And then she basically responded with, my dad is dead, and then tried to end that conversation.
Damn, bro, Skip Bayless fumbled the bag.
Skip, you done messed up. You in some trouble now, Skip.
You fucked up, bro.
You just went around that talking. You could have just took around that talking to fuck some bits on Instagram Live. Could have just done that. Been like, oh, I didn't know what I was doing. You knew damn well you were doing, Skip. I knew what I was doing.
Oh my god, that's fucking crazy, bro. Nah, it's funny that of all people that didn't get any in the end, it's Skip Bayless. Okay, so that doesn't shock me in the slightest that Skip Bayless doesn't get fucked in all this because he's Skip Bayless.
I guess this came out because after Undisputed ended, when was that? Like in August or something? Because she was with the company until August. It was a while ago. The hairstylist. She was with the company until August 2024. So I guess when the show ended, I'm not sure when that happened. That's when she started gathering details. And this goes back almost 10 years.
Well, yeah, because Fox Sports 1 or whatever has been around for at least the last 10 years, right? It's been around a long time.
Fox Sports 1 has been a thing since 2013. Yeah, the last show for Undisputed was last show for Undisputed was August 2nd, 2024. And that's when...
See, I don't care what anybody says. The last show for Undisputed ended when Shannon left. That's what I say.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
When Shannon Sharp left Undisputed was over. I don't give a fuck what anybody says at that point. And that was 2023. Or early 2024. Who knows? But you get my point. Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. And in the past days, like Jason Whitlock said stuff about it, it was like, oh, I knew what she was doing, but I didn't want to get involved in it just because of the things that I could have done to her and her and that big rack. Her and that big rack and that peanut butter smooth skin.
That's a wild statement. I thought Jason Whitlock hated black people. Why all of a sudden he putting Joy Taylor over like
peanut butter smooth skin does something to a man, I guess.
Hey man, listen, I don't normally go for melanated women, but oh god, Joy Taylor, it should have been me.
Yeah,
it should have been me.
I saw a clip today where Marcus Wiley, former NFL player, used to work for FS1. He essentially got the can because he was on a show and they were like reorganizing who was doing what, and then he was a team player. He said, "All right, fine, I'll do it," and then he had second opinion where he was like, wait a minute, why does the show need redone anyway? And then he essentially got the boot, and Joy Taylor got in. And
of course.
He said that he knew of a relationship with Emmanuel Acho and Joy Taylor, but he didn't know anything about Joy Taylor and Charlie Dixon.
like I said earlier, this whole scandal, because that's all it is a scandal. It's alleged. Nothing is factual yet in the court of law. This has set women in media back a long time, bro.
Yeah,
I'm just being honest. Like I'm
it's a
not trying
shame
to be sexist. I'm not trying to be anything because I don't want to believe that women sleep their way to the top. But if this is all true, if Joy Taylor did all of this, one, that's some really cunning shit.
I mean, she's still on
two,
TV.
First of all, where is she now anyway? She's on Fox, right?
She's on Fox. Yeah, she's still on Fox. She's still on TV. And you should have seen the opening. I forget what show it was. I don't know what show she's on now, but it's with Shady McCoy and Keyshawn Johnson. The day after that, I think that lawsuit came out like a week ago, like during a weekend. That first day where they were back on TV, oh my God, everyone looked so awkward in there. Like I mentioned Keyshawn Johnson. He's doing a baseball pitch. Brother, we're in January. There ain't no baseball. He's like everyone's spaced out. It's so weird in there. Like everything's just so awkward.
Yeah, when shit like that happens, you know that there's definitely some like awkward elephant in the room tension. Like, oh God, bro, that's terrible. Yeah, man. Joy Taylor, bro.
If it's true, listen, if it's true, she's got a different route because apparently if you get canceled, you either A, become a right-wing activist, or B, you become an OnlyFans model. So.
I was going to say those are the only two options she has because if she does get canceled, more than likely the right-wing option is going to happen because that's what happens to everybody. I mean, look at the one girl last year that said all of these broke-ass fill in the blank, and then she became a right-wing psycho nut.
Yeah, you were right. White right-wing activist. Oh, I haven't heard much from her.
I think that star faded like 3 weeks later. Like once she started like doing the political bullshit, that's when it completely died. It's not like the hot tool girl where she kind of kept it going and started more controversy for herself.
Done a meme coin scam like that hot tool girl.
Yeah, broke ass, you know what coin. Did the rug pull and everything. What else? Who else did it? I think there was another one that just happened recently. Like someone in Australia, I think. Like a singer that like apparently the music sucked or something and people were canceling her for whatever the fuck and then she became a right-wing activist in Australia. I don't know. It's like it's happening a lot recently that I've picked up on. Anyway.
It's easy to pander to people and lie about stupid shit.
But listen. I will say this. If Joy Taylor does go the OnlyFans route,
don't buy it. No.
I don't know.
Resist the urge. 2025 is a year of change for you. Time to become a man. Real men go to Google and Reddit pages to find that shit.
Listen. Well,
we don't spend any money on these broke bitches. We're not.
Listen, I got a problem. Listen, here's the problem, though. I mean, Pornhub is banned in South Carolina right now, so I kind of am at a loss for options at the moment, outside of a few. But
yeah, I keep seeing that the different states are blocking different porn websites, mainly Pornhub.
Pornhub, as far as I know, is blocked in 13 states in the country. South Carolina being 1. Yes.
How?
Because I think certain laws in certain states require you to put your driver's license or some sort of personal verification into the site so that they know that you're 18 years old. And Pornhub has a problem with that because they believe that, well, this is their take on it. They believe that having your personal information out there to verify your age is a problem. So they decided that they're just going to block the site in the state entirely. Which is kind of weird because, you know, let me hear me out on this. If you remember many years ago now, it's like 5 years ago almost, Pornhub had a scandal where they had a bunch of, let's just say not so tasteful sex videos on their site that they ended up getting removed. And now the site has only verified creators on it, which is a good choice.
That's what I was going to bring.
For many years, they did not do anything about it until people started really complaining. And now all of a sudden they want to take the moral high route and be like, oh yeah, so if you have to verify your age and all that stuff, we're not going to give you any porn at all. Yeah. Like that makes complete fucking sense. Like Pornhub is the epitome of a moral high ground. But listen, great site. Great. I'm not going to lie here. Great site, great creators on it. Trust me when I tell you. But their business structure is definitely hypocritical at times.
Man, I just miss the days of getting a Playboy magazine. I mean, I never bought any, but everyone.
I was going to say, you made the pages all sticky, didn't you?
No.
Colors ran a little bit, huh?
No. In fact, I actually saw a tweet. This isn't Playboy. This is Sports Illustrated, the swimsuit edition. Someone
That's
had posted
Playboy
that
magazine.
Someone posted that they found an old Sports Illustrated magazine, and I swear to God, it's the same one that I just found a couple months ago. I'll show you which one it is.
Oh boy, I got to see this cover now because you're hyping this up, and you better not let me down here. You better not let.
Hey, listen. I got good taste. All right.
Are you sure about that? Oftentimes you talk a lot of shit about women on this show. Good God Almighty!
Kate Upton, man, Kate Upton, the GOAT before the Verlander days.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus! Kate Upton's the GOAT, man.
Hell yeah, she is.
I miss Kate Upton.
Someone had like 2 magazines, and that was the one of the magazines that they had. I was like, hey, no way, that's the same one I got.
Good taste.
Yeah, and I mean, it's still in.
I know those pages are sticky. I know those pages. Don't.
How do I?
The fact that you're having a hard time doing it isn't helping you.
I'm having a hard time finding an angle. Like, look at this shit's still in like prime condition. Because look,
it's a good thing we're not doing video for the show at the moment because this might be
who that is, right?
On YouTube. I feel like I do.
That's Nina Agdal. That's Logan Paul's wife.
Oh, I was thinking of somebody else then.
Mother to the kids.
I forgot she was a model. She's dumb as fuck, by the way. You ever seen her on you ever seen her on Guy Code, like the later seasons of Guy Code back years ago?
I have no clue what that is.
She's MTV show that we used to be on. It was like, a bunch of comedians were talking about like guy stuff, right?
Yeah.
She was on it for a few years. Might be one of the dumbest women I have ever seen. I'm being honest here. I'm just being genuinely honest. She said a lot of dumb shit on that show. All right. First of all, we know that. Okay, so what? For those that can't see, Hunter was laughing at the
There's more.
Miss Eminem, the Eminem. Oh my God! Well, that's technically naked at that point, right? That's nudity at that point. They're laughing at was it green Eminem? Is that what it is? I can't tell what color that was. Yeah, it was the green M&M, the sexy M&M that they ended up changing into a fucking dyke or whatever.
No, they still have that. They just have a purple one.
Got it. Well, whatever the fuck. Either way, that's a wild advertisement to put in there. I'm just being honest. Anyway, what else is going on, Hunter? We got a couple things going on. Did you watch Raw on Netflix, by the way?
I did.
How'd you feel about it? Because I know you're not like the biggest fan, or at least you're growing to be a fan, but like
phenomenal.
You thought it was phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, the whole production aspect of it, hell yeah.
Yes, I agree with that. The production was very spot on. I don't know, man. I think the show could have been better. As a longtime fan of almost 15 years now, I was thinking to myself, like, I think they could have taken a lot more risks, and I think there was far too little matches on the show. I think they took a safe route with how they produced the overall show. Also, I'm not used to having 3 hours of Raw again after fucking dealing with the 2-hour ones for the last like 2.5-3 months. So I was like, oh, geez, I got to sit through another hour of this? Fuck, I used to go to bed at this point.
Yeah. For those that aren't aware, Matt and I watch wrestling from time to time. WWE had a big switch from linear television. They were on the USA Network for like 30 plus years, broadcasting Monday Night Raw.
On and
wrestling
off,
show. Yeah. And then just this year, well, they announced it last year, but this year going forward, it's going to be on Netflix live. And it's like, it's taken over Squid Games as like the number one thing to watch.
It has. I saw that, which is really good for them. I actually think it's funny that, because remember when we'll talk about Hogan in a second, but the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight had a bunch of lagging issues during the fight. And, and then a couple weeks later, the NFL games were on Netflix, which I had never knew that they were doing. And those ran pretty smoothly. And then they had Raw on Netflix, which ran very smoothly. I didn't have any lag, anything. So something tells me that Jake Paul was skipping out on some production quality there, because I heard that there
Well,
was a lot of lag in his fight.
I don't know if it's that. I think it's because that was the first time Netflix was broadcasting like a live sporting event.
Fair. They had to work out the kinks, I guess.
Yeah. Also, that's like it is a football stadium, the Jerry Dome in Dallas. So, guess they were just trying to figure out what's good, what's bad, and then work on what's bad and make it good. So, they got that fixed for the NFL games on Christmas, and like you mentioned, Raw on Netflix this past Monday, phenomenal. We had good events with Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, but the highlight of the night for those outside of wrestling, or mainly those inside wrestling, is when Hulk Hogan came out to a shower of boos in the Intuit Dome.
Listen, I don't necessarily hate Hogan, but he has definitely soured on me over the years, ever since that whole N-word scandal he had. But here's not only to mention the constant lying about his own career, typical carny fucking stories that he tells.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing, man. In what world did WWE think this was a great idea? And I'll tell you why. Because all Hogan did was show up, promote Raw on Netflix, talk about his beer, which is apparently like the equivalent of Busch Light or whatever the fuck as far as taste goes. He talked about that, and then that was it. Like, he had no purpose to be on the show. They could have done that segment in any other city in the country, but they chose one. Let me. Oh, not to mention all the Republican shit he's been doing ever since the national convention. So they chose to have him appear in LA, of all places, probably the liberal capital of the country. Let's be honest. And, like, how many miles away from Compton is he?
I don't know how far Compton is from Inglewood, but
it's not too far, I think. But yeah, like, the entire black wrestling community hates you, bro. What makes you think that those brothers coming from Compton to the show aren't going to hate your ass too? I mean, come on, man. That was a tone deaf decision by the WWE to try and get Hogan over, or they were setting him up to fail. I really have no idea. I heard jokes that this is payback for when Triple H had to relinquish the newly undisputed title to Hogan back in 2002 after he won at WrestleMania that year. Yeah. He lost it like a month later, poor bastard. Yeah. So yeah, that was kind of bullshit. So it's Triple H getting one over on Hogan for that, I guess.
Yeah, you summed it up pretty well. The whole N-word thing that came out 10 plus years ago with Hulk Hogan.
I remember it was yesterday too.
Him being a Trump supporter and going to a blue state in a blue city, that also didn't help. That all culminated together to, man, this guy sucks. But in Hulk Hogan's mind, he's probably thinking, tell you what, man, let me tell you something, brother. Jimmy Hart, they did not like you waving that American flag, dude.
Yeah, first of all, they were booing the goddamn legend, Jimmy Hart. You all should apologize to Jimmy Hart for that segment.
They weren't booing Jimmy Hart.
I know they were, but because Jimmy Hart was the manager of Hogan during his later years in WWE, at least the first run, he probably is guilty by association. But I don't hate Jimmy Hart. I love Jimmy Hart. But you know what's funny though, Hunter? And I don't mean to say that this is funny, but like, it's kind of fucked up. It's like a weird twist of fate that has happened. The night after Raw, or not even the night, the day after Raw, the entire state starts to fucking burn.
Yeah, I was just starting
to think about that too. It's like God came out. God came from the heavens and said, "Let me tell you something, brother. You can't boo Hulkamania, dude. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 24-inch pythons and lay the smackdown on your city and watch it burn to the ground."
I don't think it was God that did that. I think that was Hulk Hogan himself.
Oh, maybe Hulk Hogan was the one that started the fires, but somebody out there did not like LA booing Hogan, and they burnt that city to the fucking ground, which is a horrible tragedy.
And not to mention that Raw was on January 6th. So yes! Imagine how Hogan felt after that. I'll tell you, let me tell you something, brother. I'll make January 6th look like a playdate party, brother. And then all of a sudden the next day, there's fires are going on in LA and everything's burning to the ground.
Oh my
I think
god!
it
I
was the
forgot the
Hulkster.
show
The
was on
Hulkster was up
January
to this.
6th. Oh my
Yeah.
god! Listen. Let's be honest. It's not like anything ever happened history worthy on January 6th other than Raw going to Netflix, right? Right?
Pat McAfee.
Happy Insurrection Day, everybody.
Pat McAfee's co-host AJ Hawk, his birthday's on January 6th, and then Pat said 4 years ago AJ Hawk threw the biggest birthday party in America. Threw the biggest birthday party in American history. Fired his whole family, his aunts and uncles at the Capitol. Oh God.
I'm fucking crying. Yo, that's so fucked up. Yo, Pat McAfee is a gem, man. I love what he's done for his own career is fucking phenomenal, bro. He's a gem to sports media. Oh, okay. Let's calm down here.
Yeah, the wildfires in LA are getting pretty bad.
I've been seeing videos all over Twitter, bro. It's sad. Like, I mean, like, all jokes aside, it's a very sad thing that's happening to LA, bro, because they are getting Here's the thing. From what I've read is that California's water infrastructure is so bad that I don't think there was ever a way that they were going to contain this shit. The way they handle their water infrastructure for wildfires, it's terrible, man. And again, this I could just be reading fucking right-wing propaganda and all that bullshit. So take what I say with a grain of salt. But it is a shame to see what's going on. Was it you that fucking posted this in the group chat yesterday? That the Weather Channel accidentally posted a burnt body?
Yeah.
You sick fuck. You posted that, no notice whatsoever, and me and Dante are like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this?
Hey, I saw it at the same time as you did, basically. I saw that. I was like, no way. And then they're showing this stuff's burned up, and then you could see like a skeleton in there. I'm like,
so fucked,
I know
bro.
damn well that ain't no prop skeleton surviving a fire.
That baby was burnt to a crisp.
That shit's crazy.
That's as bad as like Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru in fucking Star Wars Episode 4, bro. If y'all catch that reference, but
I did not.
Oh yeah, you're killing me, Hunter.
I don't watch Star Wars. I don't catch that, but yeah, that was a little sad to see. And then, like you mentioned, like entire neighborhoods are just burnt up. It literally looks like a war zone out there.
I know. So I've seen some people that I follow who live in California. They're like, oh, my brother's in this area that they're doing an evacuation warning in. Someone so and so's I know is in this area. So and so I know is in that area. Billy Crystal, famous actor, by the way, if those of you who are a little younger, he had his house that was built in like the 70s burnt down. Isn't that fucking sad? And I know some people aren't like as sympathetic towards celebrities, where it's like, oh yeah, they have all the money in the world to buy a new house and all that shit. But like, come on, man. That's sad. Like, regardless of how anybody feels about someone else's, like, especially celebrities, like political opinions or how they feel about their movies, like, nobody's house deserves to get burnt down, bro. That's fucked. Like, I know all the right wing people are having a fucking field day with this. Mike was complaining about it on Twitter yesterday, saying some very choice words for all the maggots.
They just love to turn something and spin it around to fit their need over something where it's like
so stupid.
doesn't really need to be done, like criticizing the firefighters because they're women or they're lesbian or whatever. Like, all right,
well, that's the other thing. That had
nothing to do with it.
The person who was in charge of the infrastructure in California for the water was like what, a gay lesbian firefighter or something along those lines.
I think the fire chief, but
or transgender one. I saw something about that. I don't know if it's true or not, but I'm like, come on, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck, bro? I think it's the more how they've handled the fucking thing. That
listen, if there's a woman to complain and go after, it's the mayor of Los Angeles that cut funding for the fire department, and then to have this shit blow up in their face. That's the one that you need to criticize.
I don't understand why California of all states would defund any kind of firefighter funding when they know that this shit happens every single year.
They took that funding away and gave it to the police.
That's even more weird. They're the state that wanted them defunded in the first place.
Yeah.
That's so bizarre. Like I don't think California is like an enigma to American society, bro. The way they do things is so ass backwards. You would think like Land of Hollywood and LA and beaches and San Diego and all that shit, like all the famous places in California, is run by literal fucking retards. But you can use that for any state in the country, exactly. It's dumb. It's dumb. Like, how do you do that? Like, you take it away from the firefighters and give it to the police who you wanted to defund for fucking 4 years ago with George Floyd. So, whatever.
Yeah, and
not saying the police deserve to be defunded, but still, you know what I'm trying to say.
It doesn't help that there's fires that are intentionally being started by people now.
Really? LA. That's a thing now?
Yeah.
For what reason?
I don't know. I don't understand.
That's so...
One of the fires that's active right now is being investigated as a arson fire started by someone, and then there's people getting arrested in the city trying to start fires, but it goes nowhere. So that's smart.
Yeah, can you know that fault line, that tectonic plate fault line that's in California, San Andreas fault line? Can they just like fucking can that like do something already and break this fucking state off into oblivion? Because that's like the only
on top of this going on. Hell no, that'd be crazy.
I mean, it's at this point, it's going to happen I feel like it's going to happen in the next 20 years with the fucking amount of earthquakes they get. But something's going to happen to it. California's going to be into the fucking ocean at this rate, which would be very fitting because it would actually put out all the fires.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I had to.
But yeah, on top of that, they don't have the manpower needed to contain the fire. They don't have enough water to do anything with the fire.
Someone, you know what? Someone said something about and I saw this being talked about. Why don't they just take it from the ocean? Which I actually was wondering, like, why don't they just use the ocean? Is it like salt water going to make? Yeah, like is salt water going to make it worse?
Salt water is going to ruin it.
Well, ruin the land anyway because it's salt water. I get that, but
yeah, it's not.
I just never thought about the ecological idea of it. Like, how come they never tried that?
And it doesn't help that on top of the water issues and whatnot, that it's also windy as hell there too, which is why this fire started. Well, most of the fires, one of them, like I mentioned, arson is what they're being investigated for. But the others, it's literally wind because they haven't had rain there in forever. And this kind of blew my mind. I completely forgot that at the beginning of last year, there was massive flooding in Los Angeles because they had so much rain. Like they had 2 or 3 years worth. So I didn't remember either. But apparently
that happened. Like LA got rain.
They had like 2 or 3 years worth of rain drop on the area in one day, and it caused massive flooding issues. And then almost a year later, they haven't had rain in months. It's windy as hell, and brush fires can easily trigger something catastrophic, which is what's going on. And it doesn't help that it's going to be windy tonight. It's going to be windy tomorrow. It's going to be windy Sunday. It is not going to get any better.
Yeah, that sucks. So, like, again, all jokes aside, everybody in California that listens to the show, we hope you stay safe and we hope that your families are safe. But it's a shame. Like, we can talk about it and we can make jokes about it all we want. It's a very morbid situation, but it's fucked. The whole entire situation is just fucked. But again, I reiterate, California did this to themselves.
Yeah.
There's no better state of sabotaging its own people than California or New York City.
Yeah. I mean, entire neighborhoods are wiped off, like Pacific Palisades. That whole section is gone. Everything in it gone.
Although I will say,
it's spreading to Malibu.
Oh yeah, damn, Malibu's gonna get fucked, bro.
And I have CNN up just because they talk about the fire.
Fake news network.
Yeah, they're giving like they're giving a forecast of like the wind.
Oh, Jesus.
Through Saturday and Sunday, it's going to gusts are going to be up to like 50 miles an hour in that region. Like
I saw a
Palisade
video.
and, Malibu.
I saw a video of a McDonald's that was burning down, like, and the wind
Yep.
was. I could see the wind, and I was just like, "Oh, that's not good." Like the wind from that video was really high, so I was sitting here like, "Oh, that goes somewhere else. It's gonna burn."
Mm-hmm.
What a shame. Anyway,
And then there's shady things with that too, with the insurance companies, because apparently they took like fire insurance ended for the housing allegedly. This one really kind of fucked. This 90-some-year-old lady who has had fire insurance for over 70 years at her home ended. The insurance company ended it like 4 months ago, and then all of a sudden, this fire comes in, burns down everything. And
looks
it's
like
multiple insurance companies. It's like State Farm, Liberty Mutual. I think there's other. I can't name specifically who, but those were the two that I've seen.
looks like Luigi
And
didn't do his job in getting the other CEOs.
yeah, I guess, but it's just crazy how all that's coming in at once. I mean, what a terrible way to start off the year down there.
Bad things come in threes, Hunter, and this is probably. Well, wait. New Orleans was the first one. This is the second one. Something's going to happen in the next couple of weeks.
We didn't even talk about what happened in New Orleans.
I don't even want to talk about it, bro. It's depressing. I saw that the day after. I was working New Year's Day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Came and I saw that on the news in the gym with all the TVs, and I was just like, "You've got to be fucking kidding me." I don't even want to talk about it because I feel like Mike and Dante probably did more research on it. I can't watch anything about it. It's just I'm so not even desensitized. I'm just sick of it all, bro. Like this year, I just want to be happy, bro. Like I'm a miserable fuck most of the time, so I'm just trying to like make my days a little bit better and nicer. And then I got to read this shit on the news. Like I got to have the news dictate my mood, and I'm just like, no, not today. It's sad. The whole thing is sad, and I hope they fucking figure it out and they fucking destroy whoever tried that shit, or who was even associated with it, because they did kill the guy responsible for that attack. But
yeah,
everything is so fucked in this country, bro. And Trump's not even in office yet. Who the fuck knows what's gonna happen? What is it? Next week he's getting Next week he's
we're
going
gonna
in
turn
office?
the Gulf of Mexico into the Gulf of America.
I saw memes about that. Please don't tell me that was
state.
Don't tell me he's actually been fucking saying that.
Yeah. Gulf of Mexico becomes Gulf of America. He wants Greenland and he wants Canada as the 51st state.
First of all, if any fucking country should be a state, it should be Puerto Rico at this point. I'm gonna be honest, but I don't even think they want it. I don't even think they want to be a part of it at this rate. From what I've heard.
We want Canada. We'll get you, Canada. Trudeau, you have nothing on us. Greenland, you'll be ours next. Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America.
Can Trump just shut the fuck up sometimes, bro?
I just love how there's people that are like, yeah, the hell, teach him. Yeah.
I saw the memes about it. I'm just like, don't tell me this is a Trump thing. Like, don't tell me people are fucking going along with this.
Trump doing this will make the price of eggs go down, and milk and gas, all that's going to go down by renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. Anyway, let's talk about the NFL, shall we? There's a lot of stuff going on. Your Steelers are in the playoffs, by the way. Congratulations.
I don't even want to talk about my Steelers. They are fucking terrible. It's like literally as soon as they clinch the playoff berth, it's like, all right.
As soon as they got Mike Tomlin his next positive season, it was just like, nope, downhill from there.
They were 10-3, Matt. They were 10-3. They were leading the division. And then they lose 10-7. They've lost their last 4 heading into the playoffs against the Ravens, which, by the way, let me tell you, they lost to the Eagles, all right? They lost to the Ravens, okay? They lost to the Chiefs on Christmas Day. They lost to the Bengals.
You didn't lose to the Chiefs. You got ass fucked by the Chiefs. Like,
oh, thanks, Matt. I didn't know the difference between getting ass fucked and losing. All seems the same to me.
You got prison raped by the Chiefs. Is what you got.
Listen, they went from being the 3 seed or the 4 seed, right? They're going to be 3 seed. They went from being the 3 seed, having a division title and a playoff game at home, to going on the road to Baltimore in the playoffs, where they lost to them like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, you guys are fucked.
Yeah.
I still hold firm in my prediction that it's going to be a Lions Chiefs Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I
I
know
can see
Mike.
that happening.
I know Mike is going to be complaining, like, oh, you don't care about the Eagles, like you Giants bias. I'm like, no, I don't think the Eagles are a bad team, but I think they've had some struggles in the beginning of the season that I paid attention to that were like, okay, it's a little rough right now. Then they picked it up, which is good for the Eagles, right? They
I mean, the
obviously, but the
Lions,
Lions are unstoppable. The
they've
Lions are
had so many
unstoppable.
injuries on their defensive side of the ball, and they still get the job done, which is crazy because they've got like a few starters left that have been there the whole season. Then they've got like second strings, third strings, fourth strings. They're signing guys from practice squads, and then they're playing, and they're still getting the job done.
And that is a testament to Dan Campbell's coaching. That's all I'm going to say.
And Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator, which, by the
Yes.
way, he's getting head coaching offers left and right. Same with the
As he
offensive
should.
coordinator, Ben Johnson.
I would hope they would stay if they win the Super Bowl, but I would understand why they would leave because they've been doing a phenomenal job. I've been paying attention to them all season. As much as I have not watched much football because I just can't stand the NFL right now, especially because the Giants are ass. I have been paying attention to the Lions for sure and a few other teams. And the only reason I say that the Chiefs are going to make it instead of the Ravens, and this is not that I hate the Ravens, I actually like the Ravens, but somehow, some way, they'll fuck themselves to a point where they'll lose a game, like
They've
they
got
always
voodoo
do
magic.
every year, and they'll shoot themselves in the foot, and then somehow, some way, the refs will save the Chiefs from losing a game, even though they're probably the worst. They were like the worst undefeated team in the history of the NFL for like the solid first 11 weeks of the season.
Oh, it was ridiculous.
They were the worst. They were the worst undefeated team I had ever seen.
They just kept getting bailed out time and time again.
Like,
And they're still getting bailed out.
Yeah, you can't tell me that they're not getting bailed out. And they'll get bailed out again in the AFC Championship if they make it that far because they have no competition other than the Bills and the Ravens.
Bills are the Ravens. That's it.
And I could see either of those three teams going, but I think it's going to be the Chiefs because the NFL protects the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. That's just and if they make it to the playoffs outside of the Bills and the Ravens, then you can't tell me the NFL isn't rigged at this point. You can't. Because the Bills and the Ravens are better teams by a long shot. I'm sorry, your Steelers are fucked. I'm just going to be honest with you. You guys are.
Hey man,
you're going to take a fifth loss in a row.
If Justin Fields was quarterback, none of this would have happened. They would have been fine. But Russell Wilson ain't done shit the last 4 games, and offense can't do anything. It's predictable as can be. They have the same record this year as they had last year, and last year was a dumpster fire.
Yep. Hey, speaking of the AFC, did you hear in the news that broke before we started recording today? Diddy Watson got hurt again?
It couldn't have happened to a better guy, man.
Yep, I agree. Diddy Watson, adios, bro. He might as well just retire. He's fucked. To think that Deshaun Watson, probably one of the biggest prospects to come out of, Clemson he was a part of?
Clemson.
He won the national championship with Clemson.
He was great as a Texan.
Yes, he was phenomenal as a Texan. Then all this shit happened with the allegations, and now look at him. It's like I talked about God punishing LA for booing Hogan. I think God's punishing Deshaun Watson, bro. I don't know. I mean, and even if you don't believe in God, there's something out there punishing Deshaun Watson
because he's
some form of karma.
He's been terrible since he got to Cleveland, and he's injury prone now.
Because once you fuck up your ACL or whatever, or your knee or whatever,
Achilles, it's his Achilles tendon.
I always get it confused. I always get it confused.
I guess it's hard to come back from 1 Achilles tendon, but 2, that's kind of absurd.
No,
and the only player that I can
it's not
think
going to
of
be the same.
It's the only player that I can think of that's done that's come back from injury. Like, I don't know if it was 2 Achilles tendon tears or 2 ACL tears. It was one or the other, but he's on the Chargers now. J.K. Dobbins, he came back this year. Oh my! It's like he never missed a beat, and he's been injured time after time after time again. Whether it's his Achilles, I don't know if he ruptured that twice or if it was his ACL twice. One of those he fucked up twice, but he came back and he's been a workhorse for that Chargers offense, and they're in the playoffs now.
Yeah, they are in the playoffs. I don't think they'll make it much really far, but I one day I hope Justin Herbert gets his due, bro, because I like Justin Herbert as a quarterback for the Chargers. I think he's he's a good quarterback on a shit team.
Come to Pittsburgh.
You would like that, wouldn't you? Yeah.
I would love
Hey,
that.
Giants, can we draft Shador? That'd be really nice.
No, you do not want Shador.
Why do I
You
not
do
want
not want
Shador?
Shador. No, I think he's going to be a bust.
Don't let
I think
fucking Dante hear that.
Dante can hear that all he wants. I don't think Shador is going to be a good quarterback in the NFL. I don't really know if there's going to be many quarterbacks in this draft class that are going to be good.
Yeah, I don't really know much about this draft class to even have an opinion. For the most part, all I know is Shador is probably going to be in the top 5 of the picks, and that's it.
Well, Cam Ward's probably it's either Cam Ward or Shador Sanders that's going to be drafted. Cam Ward from Miami, Florida. He's excellent. He has some flaws, but my friend was talking about it the other day. I think he has a higher ceiling than Shador Sanders.
Got it. So, hey, speaking of the college, can I just say that these college playoffs have been fucking terrible? I've been paying attention on and off, and it is honestly the most predictable bullshit I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Like, Penn State lost, which phenomenal. But
well, last night's game was great.
Well, yeah,
Penn State losing.
Penn State lost. Fuck Penn State. As a Rutgers fan. That said, fuck Notre Dame.
I am the most pessimistic Penn State fan you'll ever meet. And the one thing that I can tell you about it, I will never take Penn State serious if they cannot beat Ohio State. The last time they did that, 2016, they knocked them off as the number 2 team in the country. They went on to win the Big Ten championship that year. That was back when they had Saquon Barkley, Trace McSorley, Mike Gesicki, Chris Godwin. Phenomenal team all around, like a phenomenal team. And since then, they have yet to beat Ohio State. So even if Penn State would have won last night, odds on favorite, Ohio State, probably going to beat Texas tonight. It would have been
Please don't put
Ohio
that evil
State
on me.
or Penn State.
The last thing I want, the absolute last thing I want is an Ohio State Notre Dame college championship. I would rather fucking jump off the goddamn bridge of 501 in South Carolina than see that championship.
Well,
I hate both teams with a fucking passion.
There's a thing, Matt. You got about 10 hours before that game ends. Listen, it's going to be tough for Texas. I mean, Texas is a good team, but Ohio State, there's just no beating.
Well, Texas shouldn't even have fucking won the game that they had before this one anyway. Was it Arizona State they were facing? Arizona State should have beat those motherfuckers.
If Arizona State would have made it, Ohio State would have just.
I was watching that game. I was watching that game when I was in the gym and I was working out and I was on the treadmill and I think I stayed there for like a solid hour and a half watching this game and I was like in shock the entire time. I'm like, holy shit, is Arizona State gonna fucking do this? Because Texas was beating them all game until the fourth quarter, and then they fucked it up in double overtime, bro. I was mad.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. One of the more exciting prospects in this draft. It's not Ashton Jeanty, which, by the way, phenomenal season he had. Penn State was going to be a tough challenge for him. Nonetheless, a great season for him. Cam Scatterbo, that running back for Arizona State. Scatterbo does everything. I mean, him and Jeanty, you can kind of put him like 1A, 1B. I think Jeanty will be fine. I'm really curious to see what Scatterbo can do in the NFL.
Yeah, I was really impressed with that team in that latter half.
And you know what?
Man.
He won offensive MVP for that game as a member of the losing team. Something that had never happened before.
Not only that, I mean, Texas's defense completely collapsed. Texas defense, outside of that one instance where they got the interception to end the game, it collapsed. They wouldn't have never been in that position at all if they just would stop getting penalties, like blatantly dumb penalties to take, personal fouls, pass interferences. Like, god damn, what was the discipline like? How did the discipline completely go down the drain in that fourth quarter for them? I don't know. That's why I think Ohio State's going to beat them, which, again, my worst nightmare. As a Rutgers fan, I hate Notre Dame, and as a Rutgers, for personal reasons, and as a Rutgers fan, I obviously hate Ohio State because it's Big Ten. So,
well, fuck Drew Aller, by the way, Penn State's quarterback. He is so dog shit, and I tell you, I'm the biggest most pessimistic Penn State fan ever.
Yes, you.
He is so fucking terrible. He is dog shit. Let me tell you what. Penn State's game plan, that whole game, it was so easy to fucking dissect, yet I don't know how Notre Dame didn't stop it. And I don't know why they let Penn State put up 24 points. Because literally, the two running backs, Nick Singleton, going to be phenomenal player in the NFL.
Mhm.
Katron Allen, also a phenomenal running back. I'm not sure if he's going to the NFL this year, if he's coming back. I think both running backs might be gone. But this guy, Tyler Warren, the tight end, he literally does it all. He was literally recruited as a quarterback, and sometimes he'll have trick plays where he'll take the snap and he'll even throw the ball. Tyler Warren is such a good tight end. He's going to be a first-round pick. And Drew Aller, you fucking blow, buddy. You fucking suck. You suck dick, dude. Like, big-ass dick. Let me tell you his stats. 12 for 23.
How big is it?
Yards. He threw for 135 yards. Guess how many of them were to his wide receivers?
Less than half.
Minus 3 yards. He was 0 for 4 when targeting wide receivers and minus 3 yards. I mean, his majority of his yards went to Tyler Warren. He had 75. Katron Allen, he had 6. Nick Singleton, he had 33. That was it.
Sad.
I mean, Notre Dame's quarterback, not much better, but still more than sufficient enough to get the job done. He had 223, and he was able to complete passes to his wide receivers. And the thing with Drew Aller is he already opted to go back into college for the following season, for next season. Yeah, I would hope so. You're not ready for the NFL, buddy. You might as well go in the transfer portal and go to fucking real estate agency or whatever the hell you want to do. Football ain't your thing, buddy. And the reason why I'm being so harsh,
I'm not your buddy, pal.
This kid was the number 1 recruit in the country like 3 or 4 years ago, committed to Penn State, 5-star, phenomenal. But since he's gone here, he's been mediocre at best, and also doesn't help.
Is that a product of him playing, or is it a product of the coaching around him too, though?
I think it's a product of him playing, because fucking Trace McSorley was the greatest quarterback to ever play for Penn State. Literally, factually, most passing yards for a quarterback in history, Trace McSorley, number 1. And that's the last time Penn State was good, but they never won it. They won a Big Ten championship. Outside of that, they never went to the college football playoff. And the only reason they got in this year, because there were 12 teams, they couldn't beat Ohio State. So that was their only loss. They went to the Big Ten title, lost to Oregon, and then they had a fucking cakewalk of a college football playoff. Home game against SMU. They were fucking dog walking the shit out of them, but that's SMU. They just moved up from, I don't know what conference they were in the year before, to the Big 12. And then they beat the shit out of Boise State. Now they put up a fight. Outside of Ashton Genty, there wasn't much for that Boise State offense. And then Notre Dame, an independent school. Now, Notre Dame, I figured would give them a challenge. I thought it would be more of a defensive game. I didn't think there would be much scoring, but it was close to the very end. And they very well could have won that game. Like, James Franklin, the head coach for Penn State, he gets a lot of shit for not showing up against the best teams in the country. His only win against the top 5 team was, like I mentioned, Ohio State back in 2016 when they were in the number 2 seed. Thought he did a fine job. They were in it the last 40 seconds of the game, though. Drew Aller fucked it by throwing an interception. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Motherfucker, don't make stupid decisions with the football. Throw short
have
passes.
An aneurysm.
I am going to have an aneurysm.
I can feel the anger, and I'm 1,000 miles away, Hunter.
There's a reason why I call myself the most pessimistic Penn State fan, is because this team, it's so fucking good. They've got great players, but they can't fucking corral it together to get a goddamn championship. The last time they won a national title, 1986, almost 40 years ago. And you see the talent that's in the NFL. Fucking Saquon Barkley almost broke the rushing record.
Yo, that's
he was a
bullshit.
Penn State guy.
Can I talk about that really quick? Because I don't give a fuck
what
Mike or anybody says. I get why in the last game you want to bench your stars, but how many fucking yards did Saquon have to beat the record?
He only needed 101.
He could have done it.
He could have done it.
I think Nick Sirianni fucked him. I think Nick Sirianni's a fucking piece of shit for not letting him play at least the first half. And
he literally could have gotten that in one quarter.
He could have gotten it in one quarter against the Giants of all fucking teams, bro. Like, even as a Giants fan, like we're still gonna be butthurt over the whole Saquon thing, but it's not even his fault. It's our fault for not doing the right thing. He deserved that, bro. He deserved that accolade, and Sirianni took that from him. And if I was Saquon, I would have a little bit of an angst against him for that. Sirianni, I mean, because That's bullshit. And people are like, "Oh, he wasn't really going to break the record because the NFL expanded the games." But it's the regular season. It doesn't matter. If it's
He
a
got up to
regular season thing,
2,000.
it doesn't matter how many fucking games they do it in. Because it's the NFL that chose to make that call, right? It's the NFL that chose to expand the season.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the record's still intact regardless. Or the record's still a record regardless of how many games you play in the season. So I think that argument was really fucking stupid, in my opinion. But I think Sirianni fucked over Saquon. I think Saquon could have had a statement year. Well, he did have a statement year, but he could have had an even bigger statement year, having that accolade after putting up with so much shit from the Giants organization, from getting injured, from shitty offensive lines, to getting fucked over as far as pay goes, when we really could have paid him. We honestly could have and should have. So as a Saquon fan, because I'm a fan of Saquon Barkley, I don't give a fuck what team he is on.
Oh, I am too.
I'm a fan of Saquon Barkley. As a fan of him and what he was able to do for us as a Giants fan, or as the Giants organization, little he could do because he was injured for half of it. I think that was wrong of Sirianni to make that call. At least for the first half, they could have benched him, or they could have let him play a little.
But yeah, pretty much Penn State produces great NFL talent. Like I mentioned, Micah Parsons, Saquon Barkley, Mike Gesicki was tearing it up at the end of the season. Chris Godwin, he got a Super Bowl ring with the Bucks. Countless linemen, countless safeties, countless defensive backs. I mean, the list shows. But in the college level, Penn State can never go all the way to win the national championship, and it all comes down to playing hard against Ohio State and being able to beat them, because Ohio State, time and time again, they can go to the national title, they can win it, they can contend for it. Penn State can't. They'll always be second fiddle to Ohio State.
Fuck Penn State.
Yeah.
Anyway, last thing I want to touch on before we end the show, because we're running a little long. Let's talk about that TikTok ban, man. We got like a week and a half maybe until TikTok is
January 19th, apparently.
January 19th seems to be the day that TikTok gets banned from the United States, which you and I have very different opinions on that I want to touch on as we end the show.
Yeah.
You can say your piece, I will say mine, and we'll just agree to disagree in the end.
Well, the trends and the IQ, I think, have gone down in society. Like the NyQuil chicken challenge, or the Kia challenge, or the pink sauce thing. It's just all so stupid to me. I've never understood it. And that's back when it was Musically, when it was just, duet into songs. I thought that was dumb. And then the whole purpose of TikTok is just a fucking waste, in my opinion. There's so much misinformation that goes on, and like I mentioned, the stupid challenges that's making our generation dumber. I think we're better off without it, but that's just me.
Okay, so I don't necessarily disagree with everything you said as far as the challenges go, but let me offer a different caveat for you, okay? At the same time, people have created legitimate businesses on TikTok. I see a bunch of them that get thrown on my For You page all the time, which seem like they're good products. So that's their way of promoting their product. I've been watching a lot of gaming streams, and that's another way for people who can't get big on Twitch or Kick to maybe find some footing in streaming on TikTok. I haven't done it personally, even though I stream a lot, but I just don't know how to do the formatting for it. But that's another alternative to streaming. That's not like YouTube, Kick, Twitch, all that. And then we talk about us and how podcasting plays into this. And as you know, we post all of our clips of the show on TikTok. We make a lot of people upset. A lot of the times those videos get very popular and people talk shit about us, and that's fine, because it honestly brings me joy to see people get upset about what we say. As sick as that sounds on paper, it brings me a lot of joy to like post the video, fuck off for a few hours, go back to the video and be like, oh wow, this blew up. It's like a sense of pride I have, honestly. And now they're going to take that away from me. So how am I supposed to make people upset now?
Instagram.
Yeah, we've done that too on Instagram. It's true, but Instagram doesn't blow up. I think the way you get, I think Instagram's algorithm's far different than TikTok's. I think TikTok's gives us a little bit more leeway to
YouTube
grow.
as well. They just did a thing where YouTube Shorts you can now make up to 3 minutes in length.
That I saw that when I was uploading a short on my personal YouTube channel yesterday, and I think that's great because now some of those videos that we have that are longer than a minute are going to be posted there now, which is nice. So it's not like people are losing out on content because I can't physically do it due to the restrictions. Now I can't, which is nice. However, I am under the disagreement of you because I think TikTok was a great way to give us a gateway to get new audience people or have people interact with the content, regardless if it was positive or negative. Many a times, as I said, it was negative, but that's fine because it brought me joy. But that's it. I mean, that's really what it is. To me, it's a lost avenue for advertising. That's all I'm going to say. And not only for you, or not only for us, I should say, but for me personally, because I was starting to really post stuff on my personal TikTok channel for my gaming and streaming stuff. So now I lose out on that when it was actually getting to be it was starting to grow a little bit, and I was starting to become a little bit more consistent about it. So from a personal standpoint, I'm a little upset. And I was just putting out like gaming clips from Twitch streams that I had, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So again, you and I can have our differing opinions, but at the end of the day, TikTok wasn't all negative, Hunter.
Agree to disagree. It could be bought out by someone, I don't know who, but someone from Shark Tank was trying to buy the U.S.
name,
assets for it.
Mr. Wonderful, what was his name? Kevin O'Leary or whatever?
I think so.
Yeah, I heard he was in talks to buy TikTok, and I'm not sure if that fell through or that has gone through or not. But all I know is that TikTok has about 9 days from the point of our recording, which is January 10th, to make a deal. And I actually didn't think it was going to be this soon. I thought it was going to be at least another 6 months because the news of this didn't break out until March, April, maybe.
Yeah.
I was under the impression it was going to be at least a year or 16 months before it was actually going to happen. So I'm a little disappointed. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, all right. Take us to church, man. I'm getting warm.
It's getting hot in there.
Oh, yeah.
Please don't take off all your clothes. I am not trying to see that shit today.
I'm not trying to show anyone anything.
Good. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate the fact that you checked out episode 96 today. We are only, 3 or 4 episodes away from the big hundo, and I have something in mind for that that I wanted. I'm going to talk to you guys about at some point this week. I have an idea that I want to bring up in the chat, but you can follow us on your favorite podcasting platforms, including, but not limited to, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, iHeart. The YouTube also gets the audio every week as well, or every upload. I appreciate the fact that you guys can follow us on Twitter, which won't be banned anytime soon, at BromigosPod. Instagram and Facebook, The Bromigos Pod. You can follow us on TikTok while we're still here, at the Bromigos Podcast. And for other shorts and avenues with that, subscribe to the Bromigos Podcast on YouTube. Also, really quick, I wanted to shout out me and Mike for 2 things. Mike was a member of the Unfiltered Discussions podcast with B-Word, who is recently retiring from podcasting for the time being. B-Word, we send our love and support out to you, my friend. And if you guys have not checked out Mike's episode, I've also been on the show too, so if you want to check those out, great. But I think Mike's episode is really, really well done, and I think they had a great conversation. And I think you'll learn a lot more about Panama Red, as in addition to the undercover brother who has been on that show as well. You can also check out my recent appearance on the Time to BS podcast with my buddy Staniel Smooth. That we actually did last week when we decided that none of us wanted to show up to record. I had this guest all set up, and then we were all like, oh, fuck, we can't do it today. And I'm just like, shit. But I hopped on his show, and we had a great time. I also have a new audiobook come out with my friend Ruin Willow. So if you want to check that out, if you enjoy, I guess, the erotica genre, you could buy the new audiobook.
Okay.
Hey, maybe some women listen to the show. I know some women listen to the show. They maybe might be interested.
Yeah, maybe.
You can listen to these velvety tones every one of those books.
If you're a granny, yeah.
Hey, man, if I can make grannies get off, imagine what I can do for other women.
Oh,
hey, yo!
I ain't do that.
Thanks for coming, everybody. Not literally. We'll see you on the next one.
You've been listening to the Bromigos podcast.
Fuck you, and I'll see you tomorrow. I beat him.